Ages, sorry if I kept you waiting a little bit. How we doing? Got some notes. Oh yeah, we gotta have the notes. How we feeling today, man? I'm feeling great. Trey Lance and the 49ers. You see how it just rolls off the tongue? Trey Lance and the 49ers were at day 4 of training camp. Just another day closer to the season. It was a great day. Weather was pretty nice today. It wasn't hot. It was pretty chill weather today. So it was a great day for training camp. The final day of training camp before the pads come on. Very, very, very cool. My man, yes, I got them notes. I had to take notes today. I've been taking notes all week, every time I'm there. What's up, everybody? How we doing? There's a lot of stuff to talk about today. I'll kind of go over training camp from my vantage point, from what I saw. But before we get to that, there is some injury news. Yesterday, Arik Armstead has a knee sprain. He said it's not that bad. He tweeted out it's not a big deal. I talked to people that know him, and they all said he's okay. They're going to be precautionary, and it's early. So the good news for Arik Armstead, it's just a minor sprain. He should be there for week 1. Today I saw him there in street clothes. He was wearing a sleeve on his knee, so he's getting his rehab and all that stuff. So good to see him doing okay. Um, the other injury today, very tough. This was a bad injury. You hate to hear these are kind of injuries you don't want to happen. Mo Hurst, a defensive tackle, he suffered a torn biceps in yesterday's practice, apparently, and he is going to be out for the season per Kyle Shanahan. So it's a shitty injury, honestly. Let's be real with it. That was a bad injury, and he will not be back for the season. And, D-line is strong. We have a lot of depth, right? There's a lot of depth at D-line, but the problem is they're starting to get hurt, and now the depth has to kind of come up, right? So we have Kinlaw, Hyder, Omenahu, Givens, and Mdiche, who we signed this week. We signed Lily from yesterday, and Atkins he's a UDFA, so there are some players on the line, but you hate to lose players. And another guy that got hurt, Hassan Ridgeway, he had a quad injury also, suffered yesterday, so he's going to be out for a few weeks. So we're minus Hassan Ridgeway, Mo Hurst, and Arik Armstead. It's kind of a bad start to the early type of the season. You hate to hear injuries, but that's football. It's going to happen. Unfortunate, but I think we'll be okay because we have a lot of depth. That just puts a lot of pressure on Javon Kinlaw, right? Javon Kinlaw is coming in to the season after a torn ACL. Not a torn ACL, sorry, ACL surgery. He had ACL surgery because, the knee tendonitis and all that kind of stuff leading up to him missing games. So he went and just had an ACL reconstructive surgery to kind of help, fix his knee issues. That's a lot of pressure to put on a young man like Javon Kinlaw. But I'll tell you this, Javon Kinlaw finally got back into team drills. He looked pretty slimmed down today. He looks like he's in incredible shape. Looks happy. He looks focused. I liked what I saw out of Javon Kinlaw today. Hopefully they don't put too much stress on him, but these injuries will make it a little stressful on him. But, I'll tell you what, Kinlaw looked happy today. And again, man, he's in some incredible shape. Javon Kinlaw, he's really transformed his body. Really transformed his body. So that shirt is real fresh. Appreciate you. Yeah, let's get to this. Debtopia says, Huff gave your hat a signature. Yes. I'm going to get into Hufanga today because I really have liked what I've seen from Hufanga, but he is a real one. Like, first and foremost, great guy. Like, when the fans are out, there's a mob of fans. Everybody wants to get stuff signed. I let the kids go. I want the kids to get a signature, but I went up there. I was like, let me go see if I can get a signature real quick because he was there for a long time. He was there longer than anybody. And I was like, all right, we'll see what's up. And then I took my hat up, and this lady recognized. She goes, is that Raj? She goes, give me your hat. I'm going to get the signature for you. I was like, okay. She takes my hat, puts it up front in front of Hufanga's name, and she goes, can you please sign this for me, sir? And he goes, yes, ma'am. Signed it, and I was like, wow, thank you so much. But he was there signing for everybody. Like, he didn't turn one autograph down. I know those guys are busy up in the front and trying to sign, but real quick, Hufanga, he signed literally every single autograph that was in his face. Stand-up guy, got to give him some respect for that. So shout out to my boy signing the hat. But let's get back to training camp, a little sidetrack there. Let's get right into it. So again, there were some injuries It sucks, but you got to make it up. You got to make way, and you go right into it, right? Because it is training camp. There's going to be injuries. It's football. It sucks, but you have to have depth. The Niners have great depth. Let's get into the season or to training camp because the biggest takeaway. I tweeted this out. My biggest takeaway is Charvarius Ward, and actually this whole defense is just lights out. This defense is absolutely lights out. Charvarius Ward is absolutely unbelievable. He is standing out to me. This guy is locked down. He's sticky in coverage. I mean, nobody could get anything on Charvarius Ward. Um, Hufunga and Jimmy Ward have great communication. Those two guys have been absolutely dialed in. Jimmy Ward is giving everybody smoke. Like, there was a play where was it Jeff Wilson Jr.? He catches a ball from Trey, and I mean Jimmy knock. If there was pads on and they were tackling, Jeff Wilson Jr. might have got knocked into next year. It was, I was like, whoa, he brought this. Jimmy Ward is going to be coming for people's neck this year. I was impressed. I was like, oh, this guy's really locked in. He wants it. He's all over the field. Like, you could tell Jimmy's a ball hawk, and he has been all training camp so far. And Hufunga, guy is everywhere. He's like you could just see his eyes tracking Hufunga, man. I'm really, really, really excited to see this guy continue to develop. Great guy, good vibes. I mean, he's dancing on the sideline. He is hype. And the cool thing about Hufunga, he's got like a handshake with every single player. Every time he goes up to a player to greet him, he does like a special handshake. He's got so much energy. I don't know where he has all this friggin' energy. It's crazy. Like, he must have like 7 monsters in the morning to start the day because he's just a pure freaking amount of energy. Always the first one out in practice. He's always the first one out in practice, and he's just pure, just on the go, 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 go. Like I said, dapping people up, and he's always got a different handshake for everybody. So, love that guy, man. I love Hufunga, and he looks good so far in training camp. Hufunga's been locked in with Jimmy Ward. But back to Charvarius Ward. This guy is absolutely locked down. They can't get anything past this guy. I mean, Charvarius Ward, this guy is a dog. And the other day, D'Amico Ryans, right? He said that Charvarius Ward has elevated the competition in the DB room. You can tell. People are playing harder now that Charvarius Ward is out there in secondary. It's a great secondary. And Emmanuel Mosley's been absolutely filthy as a cornerback as well. E-Man looks great. And he looks like a veteran leader. I posted on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it. But he stayed after practice with Ambry Thomas. And he was kind of going over some concepts and kind of teaching a lot of stuff to Ambry. It's really cool to see Emmanuel Mosley becoming this veteran leader out there. He learned a lot from Richard Sherman. You could tell. Like, that's what the first thing I noticed in my mind when I saw that, I was like, hey, he's like a young Richard Sherman. Emmanuel Mosley has taken everything that Richard Sherman has instilled in him, and he's putting it on the field. Like, he's teaching all these youngsters. Again, it was just so cool to see him showing, Ambry Thomas. Like, he's telling him where to turn his hips, and he's going and doing it, and then he's like explaining to him what he needed to do, and then Ambry was kind of trying to replicate what Emmanuel Mosley was doing. So it was cool. Mosley's been great. Very, very nice to see. Another guy that really stood out was Tarvarius Moore. This man was flying on the field. He had like 2 interceptions today. It's nice to see because he's making good strides. He had an Achilles injury, right, last year that sidelined him for the season. Tarvarius Moore is looking really sharp today. 2 interceptions. One of them was deflected from George Odom on a pass from Nate Sudfeld. Nate Sudfeld did not look good today. He was struggling. I think he threw like 3 picks today. It was bad. The 49ers have been, their offense has 10 interceptions in training camp right now. This secondary is, it's scary. They're flying. They're just zipping all over the field. They're always around the ball, locking up receivers. Nobody can get much separation. It's crazy to see. So, Tarvarius Moore, again, a very good day for him, as well as the rest of this secondary, man. It was nice to see the secondary just looking great. And last year, one of the things we kept saying was, the secondary is bad. It's going to be our Achilles. This year, our secondary is going to be a strength on this team, and it is nice to see. On the flip side, though, as good as the secondary has looked, the offensive line has not looked too good. Unfortunately, a lot of youngsters on the line, right? You have Aaron Banks there. You have Spencer shout out to my boy Spencer Burford. He's been getting all the first-team reps at right guard. He's been locked in at right guard. He's had some good moments. He's had some bad moments. But I'm just really happy that Spencer Beerford is getting those right guard snaps. Even with McGlinchey back, I thought they might move Jalen Moore in. They didn't move him into right guard. It was pretty much Burford the whole time getting those first team reps. So it's nice to see. Trent Williams was in there. Again, McGlinchey, he was there, but he was kind of limited today. He was out there, and when Nick Bosa was on McGlinchey today, oh God, man, Nick Bosa was dominating. And again, McGlinchey hasn't been in a game for several months. After the injury, so this is really the first time he's been out there. Having to go up against somebody else, and Nick Bosa just dominated him. Dominated this man. I mean, there was 2 holding calls that if this was a game, if this was a game, I think Mike McGlinchey would have been called for 2 holdings on Nick Bosa. I mean, it was bad. It was very obvious. McGlinchey, again, still very tough injury he had to go through, so he's still kind of getting back into form. But not worried about it. It was just nice to see him out there, and he looked very healthy, and he looked like, he was moving well. And that's what you want to look at, right, is he was moving well. So, O-line, though, definitely shaky. The thing that I really noticed today was center. Dan Brunskill took a lot of snaps at first-team reps at center. Some of the snaps were just off. Like, him and Trey Lance just didn't get a snap count. There was some bad snaps, and I think after practice, Brunskill and Trey Lance were working on snaps from the shotgun position. He was lining up in shotgun, Trey Lance, and he was having Dan Brunskill, snap it to him. So that was something interesting to see, that they could tell. I think they knew that their snaps were off. So O-line definitely a work in progress, and Trey was under pressure a lot. I think I tweeted this out that the O-line looks shaky, and I know there's no pads on, but the fact of the matter is this O-line is still a work in progress. It's a very young O-line, other than Trent Williams, and Michael McGlinchey, the veterans, and Brunskill. But Brunskill's still trying to learn to get that chemistry with Trey Lance. So that O-line has been shaky a little bit, and Trey was under pressure. I mean, there was times where he had to scramble. He had to, run out, and if this was a game, he probably would have got molly-whopped. It was bad. It was bad, I'll be honest. But Trey, he made some good strides. He had one big pick at the end. It was Fred Warner. Fred Warner just came over the middle and just, he just oh shit, okay, that is Fred Warner. That is Fred Warner. Absolutely amazing interception. Fred Warner skying over the middle, and he just said, this is my ball. Trey Lance, this is my ball. That's what Fred Warner basically told him. But Trey made some nice plays. There was a stretch where he was 5 out of 5. Made some nice plays. He had some great downfield plays. Him and Ayuk have some unbelievable chemistry. Let me tell you, it was a busy day for Ayuk. Ayuk continues to look like the best offensive player on the field. It just by far, very, very impressive. And he's continuing to build his chemistry with Trey. There was a play where Trey hits him on the right sideline, right, the near sideline, just on the money. And you see Ayuk, he put it in a place where Ayuk knew he was going to be able to stretch out for it. Phenomenal catch. There was another play where Trey, he drops in and he throws it to the far sideline. George Kittle, 27 yards, and it was just beautiful play. Those deep plays were so nice to see. They were very good stretch plays. Danny Gray had a nice little play. I like Danny Gray. He looks quick. He looks very explosive out there. I like what I've seen out of him. Didn't see a lot from Juwan Jennings. He's been lining up with the second team. He was. They didn't really throw it to Juwan Jennings his way. Every time, Sudfeld was in, he was looking for Ray. He was looking for the tight end Croft. Jordan Matthews got a lot of action. I like Jordan Matthews, man. He's a sneaky little player there. He might challenge for that tight end 3 spot. Jordan Matthews has been impressive in camp. But going back to Danny Gray, again, very explosive. But I like what I've seen out of Ray McCloud. Very, very shifty. A yak guy. They've been using these jet sweeps with Ray McCloud. I think they're going to install that a lot. I think Ray McCloud is going to be this kind of a wide back. He's got the jet sweep ability. They throw it over the middle to him. And you can tell he's just shifty. He's dancing. Every time he gets the ball, he's shifty. He's dancing. It was nice to see Ray out there doing his thing. I'm impressed with Ray McCloud. I like the guy so far. Everything I've seen from him looks good. Him and Brandon Ayuk were fielding punts and stuff today, fielding kicks. I guess not a punt, but fielding kicks. Um, so that was interesting to see Brandon Ayuk fielding kicks alongside Ray McLeod. And maybe they'll keep Brandon Ayuk at some point to return at some point of the season. Who knows? But I still think Ray is your return man. But Ayuk was definitely working on it today. So let's see. We got Charvarius. I talked about that. Hufanga, a beast. Danny Gray looking quick. Ray looks elusive. Ayuk, he's very impressive. Tarvarius Moore, we mentioned it. Shout out to my boy Big Spence, working with the first team O lineman. I'm happy for Spencer. Elijah Mitchell looks great. Let's talk about Elijah Mitchell. He absolutely looks phenomenal. He looks fast. He looks quick. I know he had off-season surgery. Doesn't look like he did. He looks so quick off the line. He's your number one running back. Trey Sermon is jacked. This guy is big. I like what I've seen out of Trey Sermon. He looks pretty good. TDP, not much out of him today, but he definitely looks like he's in the mix. Big guy. It's hard to tackle him. JaMycal Hasty had some nice runs. Running backs, I don't really like to evaluate running backs until the pads come on because they're running with shorts and a t-shirt on, basically. It doesn't really matter to me. But Elijah Mitchell is going to be good this season. He looks so quick. So quick. Elijah Mitchell, oh my God. My man, Angel Lopez, have you heard the rumor that 49ers are working on a trade with Giants for Jimmy G? I did, actually. My man, Rohan, I don't know if you guys know Rohan, 49ers web writer. Me and him have been at camp together. I was sitting right next to him, and he was telling me this story. He actually tweeted out, he has a story on it about Jimmy and the Giants possibly becoming, trade suitors. So it's something that we have to look into. Definitely a possibility. He was telling me this morning, and then he tweeted out the story on his page. So I have heard, I've seen the rumors. I can confirm that it is definitely something that is being talked about. Let's be honest. There's something that's being talked about. And today, you know what? Let's get to Jimmy Garoppolo. I know you want to hear the notes and stuff, but let's get to Jimmy Garoppolo today. Jimmy Garoppolo was at training camp today. Not just in the back, not just in the locker room. He was at training camp today. He came out on the sides, and he was doing some running. I was shook. I was shook. I didn't expect to see Jimmy at all during training. I didn't expect to see Jimmy. I was shook. I will be honest. I was shook today. I did not expect to see Jimmy go out at practice today. I was like, oh, whoa, what is he doing? He was running on the side field. Jimmy Garoppolo was there. Then he was on the side. He was talking to John Lynch. John Lynch and Jimmy. A little private conversation. I would have loved to have been a fly right next to them to hear what the hell they were saying, because that was something interesting. I think Jimmy to Giants might be for real. He was at training camp. I did not expect Jimmy Garoppolo to be at training camp. I don't know what to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. That was definitely a weird vibe. It was weird. It was crazy. I mean, the fans, of course, gave him a standing ovation. Jimmy was smiling, and then he went and talked to John Lynch, and then he left. Like Houdini. He just disappeared. But it was crazy to see Jimmy go up there. I don't know what they may have said to each other, but there are rumors right now that the Giants are interested in Jimmy Garoppolo. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I think the Giants would be a very good fit for Jimmy. I think Jimmy would do good there. He's better than Danny Dimes, and from what I understand, the Niners don't. I mean, not the Niners, but the Giants don't really want Danny Dimes to be there. They got a new coach, Dabble, and I don't know if he doesn't really have any ties with Danny Dimes. It's not his guy. They can move on from Danny. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. They didn't. And there you go. Rhea says Jimmy G for Tyrod Taylor. We can get Tyrod Taylor. Because I'm going to tell you this today. Nate Sudfeld, he's not QB2 based on what I saw today. But again, there's no pad, so it's hard. He's got a lot of work to prove that he's going to be a backup quarterback, because Nate Sudfeld was getting dog walked today. He was getting absolutely dog walked today. I mean, he was throwing picks left and right. Tarvarius Moore was on his ass today. Brock Purdy, stock might be rising. I'm telling you, the stock might be rising. But Nate Sudfeld did not look good today at all. at all. Let's get to some more notes. We talked about Kinlaw McGlinchey. We talked about the jet sway usage on the way up. Yeah, um, that was a hell of a day today. But yeah, Trey Lance looked better today. He looked a little bit more impressive than from the last time I saw him. I know I heard yesterday Trey struggled a little bit, but you got to remember, Smitty and I talked about this. It's weird to collect training camp stats. Like, I don't understand why these people are tracking stats at training camp. It's practice, and you're supposed to. And last night I talked to Eric Crocker. Practice is a time where you're supposed to go in there, you make mistakes, you learn. You're trying things that you maybe might not try in a game. You're trying to try in a game. You're trying things that you really wouldn't normally do, but you're trying to get better at certain things that you may not be good at already. So you're there to make mistakes. But now, with everybody tracking stats at training camp, you're kind of preparing for it like a game. It's practice, it's not a fucking game. But here we are, 2022, and you got people tracking stats. Trey Lance, 9 for 11. Trey Lance today was 9 for 16 with 1 interception. We're tracking stats. It's practice. These stats don't matter. They don't get filed anywhere. We don't track. You don't get fantasy points with. This is practice. I don't like that people are tracking stats in practice, but it is what it is. That's where we're at now. Trey did look a lot more confident today. He needs to work on his timing. He's not 100%. He's still young. He's still learning. There were some passes that were kind of behind receivers. He needs to work on that. But his deep pass is phenomenal. His deep pass is beautiful. Just needs to work on the accuracy a little bit because he did put it out of place a few times to some receivers. Probably would get picked in a regular season game. But that's it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he was amazing, phenomenal, looked like the greatest quarterback of all time on the 4th day of practice. There were some moments where I was like, oh, crap, Trey looked good today. Trey looked great. There were some times where I'm like, Trey looked good. He looked amazing. But there were some moments where I was like, come on, Trey, you can do better than that. But then there were some moments where the O-line just got mollywop, and you're a little irritated when you see it. So let's take a look at some of these questions. My man, Niner by Nature, thank you for the support. I love you. Raya Jesus, Giants won. Jimmy G because Daniel Jones hit a disabled person in the crowd. I don't know if this is true or not. There's someone that says that Danny Dimes threw a pass and it hit a disabled person. Like, I'm not laughing at the disabled person getting. I feel bad for that person if they got hit. Like, that is sad. That sucks. Nobody should get hit. But a disabled person, they're at a disadvantage. But if Danny Dimes really threw a ball and it hit someone at training camp practice, get him out of there. Get him out of there. Jimmy Garoppolo needs to be the quarterback of the Giants. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Debtopia, you're welcome. I love the hard work that I'm putting in, and I appreciate all the support. So thank you. Let's see. Niner by Nature says accuracy will come with once he gets more comfortable. And I agree. As he continues to get reps, as he continues to work, he's going to become more comfortable in the pocket, and he will get more accurate. He just needs the reps, and that's what we've been saying. And the O-line will play better and give him more time. I feel a lot of it is he's kind of not trusting him in the O-line because you got people rushing at him. He's a young quarterback. You don't want to get hit, right? You want to stay upright, but the O-line's not protecting him. They're rushing. Kinlaw was in that backfield several times. I think Bosa was right there. Like, there was times where there were players in the backfield, very quick, right off the snap. It's going to make you rush your decision. O-line needs to get better. The O-line definitely needs some work. 100%. 100% need to work on the O-line. 100% O-line needs to get some work. My man Reyes says, if that's real, I understand their urgency to get a new quarterback. Yeah, if Danny Dimes really hit a disabled person on the sideline, they're going to want a new quarterback like right now. Jimmy G to the Giants. Let's get it rolling. I love Jimmy, man. He's a great guy. He's a good class act. He would look good in the blue. I think he would be great for the Giants. You know what? I would rather have Jimmy G go to the Giants and beat Dak Prescott than have Jimmy G go to the Seattle Seahawks and potentially, look, if Jimmy G were to go to the Seahawks and somehow the Seahawks beat the Niners this year with Jimmy G at quarterback, 49ers Twitter, 49ers fans, it would be World War 3. It would be a catastrophe. It would be a catastrophe. People would be so. I'm not even gonna say. I'm not even gonna manifest it. I'm not even gonna manifest it. I'm not even gonna manifest it. I would be nervous if I saw Bosa. Yeah, I'd be nervous too. Nick Bosa. Let's talk about Nick Bosa. This man, Nick Bosa looks absolutely incredible. He's like a different person. He is incredible. His body is in peak performance, in peak shape. I can't believe how just chiseled this man looks. He went up against Trent Williams. That was fun to watch. Like I had a bird's eye view, and I was looking right there. Him and Trent Williams, watching those two guys, chef's kiss. But Bosa, he's been moving around the line. He doesn't just stay on one spot in this training camp. But he said it the other day that I'm going to try to get 50%, on each side, the right and the left. Because he says sometimes he just stays put on one point, on one side. But he says he wants to get himself better so he can go on both sides and play up against a right tackle and a left tackle. Can you imagine if Bosa's on either side of the line? You don't know where the hell he's going to line. Like, you got Bosa coming at your neck on the left, Bosa coming at your side on the right. Like, it's scary to think he wants to continue to get better in his leverage, in his technique, and in his rush ability. Like, everything he's doing to get better. This man is all over the field. Like, it's so crazy. It is unbelievable to see a guy like Nick Bosa, where, he's in his prime now. Most of those players are like, whatever, I know I could just line up here and do what I got to. No, he wants to continue to get better, and that's when you know you're a great player, when you're an elite player. He's out there on the right, fucks up some people a little bit. Let me go to the left side. Now let me try to do the same thing. It's crazy watching this guy, man. It's crazy watching Nick Bosa. I keep my eye on him a lot. Like, I'm like, where's Nick Bosa? Oh, my. Oh. And he's always back there. It's fun to watch. Fun to watch. Nelson says, who is the guy that tore his bicep and is out for the season? Yeah, we talked about that at the start of the show. Mo Hurst, defensive tackle. He is out for the season. It's a sucky injury, torn biceps. It's unfortunate. But the good news is the Niners have depth. And the one thing you have to look at, like, I know a lot of people are upset. Mo Hurst really didn't play last year because of injury. So, you could look at it in one way. Like, yeah, he's injury prone. Or the second way is just has bad luck, And the fact of the matter of him not playing last year is okay because we were able to manage without him, right? We have good depth. He played a little bit. When Mo Hurst was in there, he looked great. Like, he was a very solid rotational part of this D-line. He was really good. But the problem is, he was hurt a lot, and now he's, out for the season. So, yeah, Mo Hurst, tough. And then, again, Hassan Ridgeway had a quad injury. The D-line's getting hurt already. We talk about this. The trench warfare is tough in the NFL. The battle in the trenches is very difficult, and these guys are getting hurt already. It's the dog days of training camp, and, you have to survive them. In order to get to the season, you got to get past this part of the season, and this is not easy. Every day, hours in the sun, baking, you're practicing, you're trying to get you ready. You got to get your body right. It's tough. Injuries happen. It sucks. Let's get to some more question. Kyler Murray is dealing with arm fatigue. Is he really? Oh, that's funny. Let's see. My man. How do we have so many DTs and still thin at the position? It's great, though. Again, we have a lot of depth, but the trenches, man, you get hurt in the trenches. The D-line and the O-line, that's where a lot of the injuries happen. You might step on a foot, you might twist a leg, you're in the pile, you move one way, you pull one way. D-line is tough. D-line is tough. Jimmy or Barkley? Saquon Barkley? I think he's a Giant for life. I think he really loves being in New York. But if we got a chance to take Saquon Barkley, you make it happen. You make it happen. Give me Saquon, baby. And Kyle Shanahan's offense with Elijah Mitchell, Saquon Barkley, Trey Sermon. Come on. Michelle wants to know, how's Aaron Banks looking? Previous to today, my man Rohan was saying he looked like the best O-lineman in the group today, coming up today. He didn't look bad today. He didn't look great today. But this O-line was getting pushed around today. I'll be honest with you. Today, the O-line just did not look good. So I can't give anybody a gold star. on this O-line. I'm happy for my guy Spencer Burford for being out there and playing right guard. He had his moments, but I'll be honest, the whole O-line was getting pushed around today. D-line was in the backfield quick. The D-line looked very good. But again, it's the early part of of the training camp. Um, the D-line should be ahead of the O-line. If the D-line wasn't doing better, if the D-line wasn't dominating right now, I'd be a little worried, especially this Niner D-line, right? They have a very strong front line, all the players on this D-line that we know of, they're so talented. So if this Niner D-line was struggling against young, inexperienced offensive linemen, I'd be worried. I'd be worried. Want to know how Leon O'Neal's doing? I'm telling you, Leon O'Neal is a hard worker. I keep an eye on this guy just because I like him. He's a very hard worker. But again, with a player like that, and I've said this before, undrafted, training camp is a time where he has to impress everybody. He has to impress the coaches, because you kind of are coming in without much fanfare. You're not coming in, as a big draft process. They got you on the team. Obviously, they've seen something in you, but now you have to continue to show them that you have something that they want on this team that they're lacking. So Leon O'Neal is working hard. He's a very, very, very aggressive player on the field. Has he made big plays? No, but he is out there. I could tell he's hustling, giving it his all. They were running some drills, DB drills, and he ran it pretty clean. He was smooth out there, but he didn't run it as good as he wanted. And you could tell he was just like, he's tough on himself. He's the hardest critic on himself. I could tell he's a guy that just is like tough on himself. You could tell. And then he did it again, and it looked better. The second time he ran the drill, it looked better. So Leon O'Neal is a guy that is very strong-minded, strong-willed. He's very determined. I'm pulling for him. But a guy like that, it's all going to depend on preseason. It all depends on preseason for a guy like Leon O'Neal. That's where he's going to make his bread. And if he's going to stay on this roster, Leon O'Neal has to come and make big plays on preseason. Alfredo Gutierrez, he's practicing, hasn't done much. I really honestly haven't seen him do much, unfortunately. I know he's part of the international player project plan, whatever you want, the international development plan. He didn't do much last year because, he was just kind of getting the ropes and stuff. He's still developmental. They're bringing him along. I tell you what, he's a big man, skyscraper of a man. But I haven't seen him do much. And I haven't seen him really do much. He's just out there running the drills. But I don't really see him doing much. So, I don't know. I really hope he gets more action. But again, a guy like Alfredo Gutierrez, just like Leon O'Neal, a lot of these untapped potential players, a lot of these undrafted, these late round picks, a lot of these people that are kind of on the bubble, they're just here right now to learn and develop it. It matters when it gets to preseason for these guys, because if they're not impressing the coaches right now, that's not a good sign. They have to go out and work hard in preseason and to make plays. So that's what is going to matter for those guys. So how are Azeez and Greenlaw looking? I'll tell you, the whole linebacking core looks just so good. Even the undrafted guys that are coming out early, linebackers have been playing. The Niner linebacker unit is just strong from top to bottom. But of course, the top unit looks great. Fred Warner, Trey Greenlaw, Azeez Al-Shaair. Fred Warner, his interception on Trey Lance today was, oh man, it was nice. It was very nice. He just snagged it in the middle of the air. Just, give me that. Give me that. Fred Warner is locked in. Fred Warner's locked in. So linebackers look good. You guys want to know, how's McLeod doing? Yeah, Ray, I talked about him. He looks very impressive, very quick, very elusive. He's been, again, they've been working on those jet sweeps a lot, and I like what I've seen out of him. Let's take a little, let's see. Drake Jackson, he didn't do a lot today. There was a point where I think he might have banged heads or something with someone because he took his helmet. He was kind of like shaken up. I don't know. It was weird. Like, he was kind of in the back. He didn't really get in much for a while, and then he came in, and he came out. I don't know. Drake Jackson was, I saw him do a lot of individual drills. I didn't see him much on team drills. I honestly didn't see Drake Jackson on team drills a lot today. Maybe he was shooken up because he was sitting on the sideline with his helmet off. He kind of was like shaking his head a little bit. So I don't know if Drake Jackson was supposed to do much or not today, but I didn't see much of him today. He didn't really do much in team drills. So yeah, that was pretty much the day for today. It was a fun training camp. We'll kind of report more on it later. I'm going to go on Instagram a little later. I need to get some food. I'm hungry. A busy day. I'll get some more content up for you when I can. And I will talk to you soon. I'll be at training camp on Monday when the pads come on. Another fun day, baby. Get those likes up. Hit those likes. Smash that like button. Let's get the page rolling. More content. I got stickers dropping soon. So appreciate you guys. We will keep bringing the content. Monday, I will be live again after training camp. And then Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then Friday, and then Saturday, and then Sunday, and then again the week after that. I think Tuesday and Wednesday. So we will be live every day after training camp. The grind is rolling hard. Get them likes up. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will be seeing you back on Monday. If I saw you at training camp, great to see you. If I run into you soon in training camp, say what's up. I love you guys all. It's always great to see the fans at training camp. You make me feel very special. I love you. Have a good rest of your day.